Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to the Rustic Von Lodge, where I am completely unprepared to make a video, but I haven't put anything up in a few days, so I thought I would. I thought I'd make a video, even though I'm not prepared to make one, because it did occur to me that there's only a few months left in the year, and I've been thinking a lot about my dumb channel and some of the changes that are going to be happening probably next year. Nothing major, but some slight changes. I've been doing this now for a few years, and every year is a little bit different. This year, I have concentrated a lot on reading events because every month there is an exciting reading event to take part in, and it's been a blast. I've had a good time, but concentrating all my energies on reading events has meant that I have not read everything I probably would have read otherwise. I've read some different things. And so I have to strategize my way into how I'm going to be handling that next year. It's going to be a little bit different. This year, pretty much every month, practically, there has been a reading event that I've taken part in. And that's going to continue in October. October is almost here with Occult Detective October, which I'm pretty excited to take part in, actually, because there's a lot of cool occult detective stuff to read that I will enjoy reading, including John Silence, Algernon Blackwood's John Silence. That's going to be exciting. But going into next year, I'm going to be taking part in reading events, but it's not going to take up most of my time during whatever month it is, with a couple of exceptions. Of course, the reading events that I do, which would be, the reading events I came up with, which would be June on the Range and Rocket Summer, and Sumerian September is something I came up with, although that's kind of belongs to all of BookTube now. And those reading events, yeah, I will be spending the majority of the month reading stuff for those events. But other events, even gloriously wonderful ones like Garb August, I will be reading Garb August-y stuff, like I said, in Garb August. I will be taking part in events, but I probably won't be able to do weekly prompts, things like that, because I probably will only read one or two books for whatever event is going on in whatever month I'm reading in, just because there's so many other books I want to get to. Going into next year, I will be, the 500 book challenge will be a 200 book challenge. Less than that, probably. Yeah, actually, yeah, it will be less than 200 books that I'll be having to read for the 500 book challenge going into next year. It's hard to believe, but it's true. And there's still so many books that I own that I need to read, that I want to read. Still so many science fiction books, so many westerns, so many books of various genres. So going into next year, definitely I will be taking part less in reading events than I did this year, even though they're a ton of fun. I probably won't be doing, like I said, weekly prompts for any of the reading events I do other than my own, just because of time considerations. Now that might change, for certain events. Horror Mayhem, for example, is one of my very favorite events, so I probably will go whole hog on that. But we will see. But certainly thinking ahead, I'm coming up with a way to do a TBR, not monthly, but just kind of a going forward TBR of books that are high on my priority list. I probably won't have too much that I will be determined to read every month. Like this year, I've had Doc Savage that I'm definitely reading every month, and that will continue because that's been fantastic. And let's face it, a Doc Savage book only takes a couple days to read. And there has been Roger's Cheap Old Book Club, which is a lot of fun and always gets me to read awesome stuff I probably wouldn't read otherwise. And there is a very funny sounding bird. And a lot of smoke in the air, so there's got to be a fire blowing smoke my way from somewhere. That wasn't here a couple hours ago. Where was I? Yeah, so monthly stuff. Like, I've been trying to read The Shadow every month, as well as Doc Savage, and I will be continuing to read The Shadow, but I've also have a bunch of other pulp characters that I want to read too, as far as pulp stuff is concerned. I've got to continue with The Spider. I was reading The Spider as well, another great pulp hero. Weird Tales. I have a ton of Weird Tales to read. I have every single issue of Weird Tales electronically, and I've determined I'm going to be reading at least 1 or 2 Weird Tales issues a month next year. So that's going to be extra. But yeah, going forward, and I'm going to be changing things up as far as the kinds of books I read, because I do miss classic literature, aside from, you know, classics like Edgar Rice Burroughs and Robert E. Howard, 2 of my favorite writers ever. But other stuff, you know, I when I started my channel, I talked a lot about Penguin classics and other classic books that I just enjoyed reading. And I'm going to get back to that. Which might include the return after a year's absence of the Sunday Penguin. A Sunday Penguin probably will return next year. We'll see. And talking about pulpy stuff, I'll be talking more about Lovecraft next year as well, because I miss H.P. Lovecraft and talking about him. And I'm going to be diving a lot deeper into Clark Ashton Smith next year. So yeah, more pulp stuff there. But also, sorry about that, I cut myself off. But also other stuff that is not pulp. So yeah, that'll be fun. Some changes coming next year. This year, I have to say, the stuff that I have read has been pretty great. It's just that I think trying to pack so much stuff into a month of stuff that I have to read, whether for events or stuff that I'm just determined to read every month, it got to be a little bit much for a guy who doesn't read as fast as some booktubers read. But I have to say, I've had a great time. Most of what I've read this year has been awesome. And next year, I am going to be starting on the Ancient Historians, which I know thrills so many people. But hey, maybe it'll sound awesome once you start hearing about it. Who knows? And by the end of the year, I'm going to be reading Homer as well, because it's been a long time since I've read Homer. And he wrote some of the best books ever with the Iliad and the Odyssey. So yeah, a lot to look forward to, and a lot that I've enjoyed this year. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Just hanging out, thinking about the state of my dumb channel. And it will continue to be dumb. Don't worry, it'll still be dumb. And that's all I have to say. I will catch you next time when I get home and see how much damage Roger has caused while I've been gone. And I will have finally a weekly reading report for the last 2 weeks or whatever it's been since I did my last one. It's going to be extra long. I have read some good stuff since the last time I had a reading report. So it's going to be an extra long reading report. Sorry about that. Okay, guys, I will catch you next time.